let's see if this will work now. Alright, I just hooked up my mic instead because I didn't really feel like typing a bunch. But yeah, this is the house that I spent quite a few hours on. Hello, this is my voice. This is my little porch and stuff. I've been just kind of walking through and showing everything. As far as actual how long I've been building, I haven't built very much in the majority of my Minecraft career or Minecraft playing because I honestly just kind of let other people do things for me. Usually when I play with my partner, he's the one that builds everything because he's much better at building than I am. But I really wanted to make this world be something that I genuinely worked on instead of just kind of letting it exist. So what I did was I worked really hard on looking at a bunch of different references and looking at some ideas and finding some bases for everything. And then I just kind of started building and winging it. This took a lot of trial and error. I actually started this a few streams ago, and then I ended up completely destroying it 3 times before I finally found a system that I like for making the build of it. And even then I'm still working on it. A lot of it's the old school methods for decorating because I've been playing Minecraft itself since, I don't even remember how long ago, way back when it was first being introduced. And that meant that I have a lot of the old school habits as far as, you know, the spamming torches down everywhere when I don't particularly need to anymore. A lot of the old school decoration items, all that sort of stuff. I usually prefer, like the fridge is actually something that I've made in almost every world I've ever had since when I first learned how to do it a few years ago. So a lot of it's just kind of repetitive of the decoration techniques that I use, but I try to make them a little more interesting each time. This fridge here. So I kind of just edit things and mess around with things to figure out what works and what doesn't. I usually end up breaking a lot of things. I had this house in place for a very long time before I fully finished adding in rooms, and then once I added in rooms, I had the rooms sitting there for a very long time before I finished adding anything to them. And honestly, that witch area is going to sit for a very long time now because I don't particularly feel like completely finishing it right now. So it just takes time. I watch a lot of videos of the tutorials and ideas for decoration ideas and tips and tricks for adding decoration and interesting things into your builds and how to improve your houses and things like that. And so I spent a lot of hours watching stuff like that while I was doing normal tasks or doing work and things, and then I just kind of went into this and improv'd and hope it went okay because I didn't really, I don't know, I had this kind of determination in this world that I wanted to have it be pretty much on my own of what I made with it. Also, this is a little porch I forgot to show. Pretty much completely on my own of what I made with it because I wanted it to be solo and I wanted it to be something that I was proud of, so I wanted it to be a really big project world. And because of that, I've been really dedicated to, I don't really want to watch tutorials for things unless I have to. I want to kind of try to mix things up, try to make as many builds as I can. For example, one of the builds planned on this platform is going to be a library. This is my witchy tower. I love witchy things. This is the stables that I built, one of the first builds I actually built. This is based off of a reference, but I made it completely my own because I just glanced at a reference image at first to figure out the concept and then closed it out and started building. Over here is the only build that's technically based off of other builds. It is an entire hand-built village, so it is in fact the actual current village builds, like all the buildings and stuff you'd find in a normal current village, but it is made to my own specifications, and I made them all from making my own templates and stuff off of other builds. It's very much so in progress. I have a lot to fill in because I just made it wider, but these are all currently existing villager houses in the updated or old world that I just built myself, and I'm going to expand it more and make them all separated and things like that. And then the wall I built and started building, I still have to finish the turrets for it. For example, this is my garden setup. This is a garden setup I've done a few times since I thought of the idea. Well, I didn't think of the idea. I probably came across it in one of the videos I watched of other YouTubers that play Minecraft and things. But ever since I started using it in my own world, I've been using it pretty heavily in most of the worlds that I've been doing, which is like 3 or 4 worlds ago now that I used it first time. And just kind of tweaking it or expanding it for whatever I need for the world. I also have, I know I was supposed to be no mic, but I really didn't feel like typing this much. I also have a little chicken coop that I built, which is an idea I did find off a tutorial probably, I think, 2 worlds ago, so about a year ago worth of building. But the actual coop that I made this time isn't the tutorial at all, because I don't remember how I made it from the tutorial at all. I have a terrible memory, so I just basically tried to roughly recreate it as best I could. I have an island I completely hand-built and decorated. I have a crap ton of stuff. I currently don't have any big farms going. I have my pigs and my chickens. I still need to set up a cow area. I still need to set up a sheep area. Eventually I want to have a sheep area that has every color of sheep so I can have all my wool that I need. The lovely part about dealing with my streams is that I have ADHD, so my brain very much so picks and chooses on what it wants to focus on in the day. So, for example, this house got done really quickly, and then as far as base structure wise, and then the base structure sat there for ages. Or for probably the first 40 hours of playing in this world, I had my bed sitting right down there and all of my chests sitting there. So I just kind of bounce around with tasks and things. I do want some mob farms and things. I do have a skeleton spawner over there that I optimized a little so I can get XP and stuff from it a little easier. I do have a plan to do an Enderman farm in the end, since we just defeated the end a couple streams ago. I just kind of bounce around with what I do. I like building and making things. I like getting tasks done that are more so achievement based as well. Like, I want to get a wither soon. I did defeat the end, all that sort of stuff. I want to respawn the dragon. But I also just like to build things like this that look pretty and are nice to build and keep me focused on something for a while. So, which that is actually the follower garden, which will eventually have a lectern with a book that tells all of the first 30 followers or well, I guess all of the followers in general that we have on the channel, as a nice little dedication to you guys. And yeah, I don't know, I just have a habit of not paying attention to things that I should pay attention to, so this world gets bounced around a little. This was a natural spawning little area that I covered with glass and opened up a little more, and I'm gonna turn into a little oasis. This forest I completely took out and rebuilt. That forest I placed myself. That forest I took out and rebuilt. This was actually about 6 higher than it is right now, and I took it all out. I very much so am the type of person to get very fixated on tasks that are very kind of boring and plain, so I do a lot of terraforming, I do a lot of chopping down trees, I do a lot of what I've been doing off stream for the last like 3 days straight is getting a crap ton of netherite so that we can start getting or a crap ton of ancient debris so that we can start getting netherite armor and netherite tools and things. I spend ages and a ton of levels making sure I have all of these lovely, very maxed out tools and weapons all of the time, and armor. So, I don't know, it's just this weird little bouncing around thing where we focus on random things at a time, and eventually things get done. I have a weird way of a system of things that doesn't really make any sense to even me, so I just kind of let it happen and hope that it works out okay. Which I know is kind of lame from a viewing perspective for streaming sometimes, since I do sometimes spend an entire stream just straight terraforming it or doing random things, and some streams I really don't feel like talking while I'm focusing, so I just turn off my mic and I just do a bunch of things, which is what I was doing tonight since I had YouTube on the background. But yeah, it's currently like almost 1 a.m. for me, so I'm a little all over the place focus-wise. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go get the rest of the ancient debris that I need, because I did in fact get quite a few scraps. I actually might use those now and then see what else I need to do. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, it helps keep my brain a little focused and have a little distraction from, the main reason that I do stream is to have a distraction from everything going on in my own life, so when I'm streaming I like to kind of just mess around with things and do whatever works for my mental state at the moment and just work from there. And we have our chill little corner of the internet that likes to enjoy watching me do random stuff on Minecraft, and usually will chat with me and talk about random things with me too, and it just makes the perfect little space. I love it so much. I actually genuinely love this channel and love everyone that's always around to chat with me and things. So we have 12. So I also, the other thing about me playing is that I am very much so an old school player. Yeah, that's definitely me and a half. I feel you on that. That's what I do all the time. I actually what I spent the last 4 hours of my night doing was completely and utterly organizing and cleaning out and working on my entire actual in real life house, because I just moved a bunch of stuff into the apartment that I had in a different building, which was my dad's house, and I had to spend the whole day during the daylight, packing everything and getting it all moved into a truck and all that. And then once I got it all here, my partner left to go to his friend's house, and then I spent about 4 hours just straight moving stuff around that I had brought here and trying to organize and unpack things. Oh yeah, moving is awful. I've moved probably over a dozen times in my lifetime, and I'm 20 years old, so it's a pain in my butt. We've lived in this apartment for a little over a year, and we still have a lease for a few more months right now, so hopefully I won't have to move for quite a while again, especially since they usually just renew the lease and don't really bother having any issue with us renewing the lease, so I should be able to stay here for quite a while longer, hopefully, but I still am awful at moving, so a lot of the things at my parents' houses took really long to get here, and since we've lived here for over a year, my parents are like, hello, you still left stuff here, please remember to move your stuff, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get that done, so that's what I spent most of today doing, and then fixating on it at home, and eventually my brain just kind of hit the off switch of like, this is 4 hours of doing the same task. I am done. This is exhausting. So I made progress, but then I needed a transition period before I go to bed, so I'm just kind of playing until I fall asleep. Or not until I fall asleep, but until I get tired enough to go up to bed. My dog's currently fast asleep anyways, so just vibing. But yeah, I do want to get full of the netherite stuff. Oh yeah, the thing I did start saying and got distracted about mentally was I am definitely a little confused on some of the newer concepts of Minecraft. I actually had this lovely instance the other day when I defeated the Ender Dragon where the egg broke and went into the portal, and we spent me and the one viewer that was talking to me at the time, spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out where it would go if it went through the portal, because it theoretically would have gone to World Spawn, but when I went to World Spawn it wasn't there, and then I broke my bed and went in through the portal, and then it brought me back to my bed anyways, and then I had to go through the portal again, and then I ended up in World Spawn, and then it wasn't there again, and I was very concerned that I'd completely lost the egg, and then I eventually found it, because it had gotten caught in like a weird limbo because I didn't go through the portal to World Spawn, so it didn't go all the way through to World Spawn, and then it finally did. It was like a weird loading glitch. But anyways, I eventually got it. But like simple things like that used to be really worrisome in the old school game get me anxious, because in the old school, if that happened, your egg would be pretty much gone. It would either be stuck underneath the portal itself, in the bedrock, and you'd have to kind of dig around underneath to try to see if you can get it, or it would just completely disappear, like you wouldn't have an egg. And same thing goes with the things like right now I'm trying to get netherite, and I really don't know how netherite works at all. Same thing with the villagers. I'm slowly learning from Google searches a lot, but I am not learning very fast. The only reason I know most things about bees is because I was like, ooh, bees are cool, and I learned everything I could about them very fast. Pretty much anything in the last couple updates, goats and all that, I have no clue how any of that works. The warden I'm terrified of and have no clue how he works. If I come across him, I'm screwed. All the new cave update stuff still terrifies me, and I still don't like. Yeah, all that sort of stuff, because basically up until I started streaming, I still played on my PS3 all the time, and my PS3 stopped updating a little after the aquatic update, so like right after they added dolphins and started adding pandas, and that's it. So it's been a minute. It takes me a second to catch on to things, which is partially why my builds look quite old school, and partially why I usually have to kind of pause while I'm doing things. I know that it's sort of annoying for people that are used to the newer game, but to be fair, I'm just kind of a casual player. I've never really claimed to be very good at the game in the many years that I've played, so playing since the beginning of Minecraft doesn't necessarily make me good. I'm never going to claim to be good. I just know it's a little fair warning I do once in a while when I'm streaming, since people tend to get a little impatient with my lack of knowledge and utter confusion at times. Which I would be too. I've picked up on a lot of things from watching a lot of Minecraft content on YouTube still, since I usually watch a lot of Bed Wars and a lot of hardcore survival worlds and 100-day challenges and stuff like that. So I've caught up on it a little bit, it just takes me time. Thank you for the information actually about that. I just read that because I was on a ramble. Yeah, that's actually really helpful for the information about it. I didn't know all of the perks of it. I knew netherite is a gold that I should have and that it's like a lot better than diamond. I just didn't know all of those little tidbits, so thank you. I appreciate that information. Yeah, I remember there was something of that type of mechanic that I've seen. I've seen a few people fight him on hardcore worlds and stuff like that, or on their worlds and things, and trying to kill him, and I saw a few of the early update previews where people were messing around with spawning him in and trying to see how he works and stuff. I just genuinely, and it terrifies me. I'm good. Honestly, even because of how much they updated the nether too, I vastly prefer the end over the nether any day, because it's much easier than the nether in my opinion now. I've slightly gotten used to the new nether mechanics, but I still vastly prefer the end. It's just less scary. But the end also has never really been that scary. I used to just defeat the ender dragon in like all iron armor. It took me a while, but I would do it. So having to have full diamond armor to even touch the nether without dying is really irritating now. And of course this dude got ticked because I aimed in his general direction, trying to aim for a zombie. Oh, fun. Yeah, he's definitely seems like a very, very overpowered mob that I don't want to deal with unless I absolutely have to. I know you can get loot from the city and stuff, but I really just don't think it's going to be worth it, to be honest. Yeah, fair enough. That's kind of what I do, is just kind of try to hide around and do things as best I can. I'll have to, when I go to get more ancient debris to finish off the netherite, I can probably show the tunnel that I made and stuff, but I don't mind the new nether updates. It's just a lot. Like, you die a lot easier than you used to, especially if you're not in easy mode, which this is on normal, I believe, most of the time when I'm playing. I haven't messed with it, so I think it's still on normal from when it just auto sets it to normal. So pretty much multiple of my nether trips have ended in me losing very important stuff from dying because it just was too much to deal with at once. I also have vague Minecraft PTSD from dying in the, what is it, the, I want to say basalt? The big stone biome in the nether, dying in that one a lot to never-ending magmas, and I cannot stand those creatures anymore, and I am very much so not a fan of that biome anymore. Do I have to drop stuff? I do. Let's drop some stuff into the abyss. These trapdoors are here because down there is a cave that I'd throw all of my garbage into at all times. And my phone went off. Whoops. That's damn good for loot from a natural spawning thing. Understandable. I used to build pixel art so much. Oh, I miss pixel art. I should actually probably get back into that, like make a creative world and start getting back into pixel art. I miss pixel art. That used to be one of the only things I ever did on Minecraft back when I used to play, probably, I'd want to say 2018, 2019 roughly. 2018, I think. It was very early of when I would play Minecraft, so I think 2018 roughly. Not very early actually, because I don't know. I'm trying to mentally relate it to where I was house-wise, because I can mostly timeline my life as far as what houses I was living in at the time, so I'm trying to chronicleize it in my head. Chronicleize is definitely not a word. I'm trying to put it in order in my head and figure out what year range it would be. I think 2016, 2017 is when I was doing the most pixel art. And I definitely think I started playing Minecraft very early on of when it released, because I remember it was on the same laptop that my mom had in 2013 that I started playing Minecraft on. Yeah, my brain's really nice on chronicalizing things like that. But I do like farms, I just usually don't like the intense attention to detail a lot of them do need, and I still kind of prefer just being able to go out like that and shoot a bunch of mobs with a bow and get some items and be done with it. So I also just I have an intense ability to get very bored with worlds. So for me personally, if I start building farms too often and get things automated too much, I just can't play the world anymore, because if I run out of things to do, I will legitimately forget about the world and never play it again. I have that very bad habit. A lot of my worlds ended up just being left alone, and I'd start a new world because I would get far enough in them that I didn't know what else to do. This is actually one of my longest lasting worlds in a very, very, very long time of playing. So I kind of, as much as I do absolutely love building farms and having the idea of farms, I just, it's like, it makes it too much for me to not be able to do mentally. Yeah, that's exactly like similar point to what you're making. Is it just gets like really boring after a minute to have so many farms, because as much as they're helpful, you're just kind of like, what do I do now? I have like anything I could possibly need. I'm trying to find my cleric, and he's not at his station. There he is. But I mean, I understand why people do farms. They are definitely extremely helpful. They are definitely a very good idea. It's just not something that's been for me for the most part. I just haven't been able to really rationalize using them that often. I'm gonna buy some more. Understandable. I remember the exploit I used to use all the time back in PS3 with my brother. My little brother used to love... My little brother was definitely into exploiting everything. He's jailbroke our PS3 so many times I can't even count. He lost a lot of my saved worlds from not properly moving them to a flash drive when he was doing all of his experiments, but it is what it is. But he definitely experimented with a lot of modding and a lot of messing with exploits and stuff like that. So yeah, he used to do a lot of fun stuff like that. We actually had an entire minigame world that we built on PS3 before even the aquatic update. That was based off of something like Hypixel, and we had command blocks, and we had a bunch of really cool voting systems for what game to play. We had pretty much everything set up for games. We had a system where we were able to set up the games on our own, and then pretty much because of the PS3 being able to exit without saving, we'd play the game with friends, and then we'd exit without saving to reset the game, and then we would start the game again another time. So it was fun. I remember the biggest exploit / glitch that we used to do was the duplicating glitch, if anyone that is around knows of this. The duplicating glitch on the PS3 was if you had 10 of an item that is able to be made into blocks. So for example, diamonds, iron, stuff like that. If you had 10 of that item, so you had one more than what it was made into a block, you could essentially have one person or a dropper have those 10 items and create a clock or have them spam drop button, and the other person that is being dropped to would open up a crafting table and just absolutely spam to make a block. And once in a while, if you spammed it at just the right time, you would get 2 blocks instead of 1 because of the glitch between the timing of when you get the 9th and the 10th. And it worked much better with more than just 10, but you could pull it off with 10. It usually was a lot of trial and error, and you'd have to make a pretty fast clock system of the dropper if you wanted to do it with the clock method, and it was a lot better with using someone to help you out. But we did it a lot. It was kind of fun to just mess around and get a bunch of diamonds. Most of his worlds, he'd have entire double chests of diamond blocks because he'd just sit and exploit that for ages. Because once you get so many of them, it's really easy to use that glitch. You just constantly set a dropper to drop it to you, and it'll glitch to make a double one pretty much every other time you make one, and it multiplies very quickly. it was a mess. I was gonna grab my shulker. It was a mess, but I quite liked it. I eventually stopped using it though because I had this like moral crisis for ages with my gameplay where I didn't really like using any of the cheats and stuff, and now I'm just kind of neutral. If I want a world that I'm going to cheat on, I have a world I'm going to cheat on. This one I don't cheat on because I wanted to get some achievements, and because I've been streaming and I like having the kind of difficulty of being able to adjust to things. Like for example, I very much so wanted to delete this world or to cheat when I lost pretty much everything important in the Nether from dying. It's just, it was a mess. Fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting glitches with Bedrock Edition and Pocket Edition. Even still, like, and the thing is a lot of them won't really bother to get fixed since they're not that particularly important to fix. Oh, excuse me, I will yawn quite a bit while talking. It is very late. Why I'm still playing, I don't know. Where I need to get to my ancient debris farming area is over there where my other portal is. I just didn't feel like traveling to it in the overworld, so I figured I'll just travel to it. Understandable. I know they do a lot more patching now than they did for the PS3 version and things, because a lot of people exploit a lot more. And usually it's more of a worry of multiplayer worlds and things like that. Oh geez, there's a ghast. All I heard was him shooting at me, and I didn't hear him existing. Please die. Haha. Understandable. I mean, I definitely see the enjoyment in it. I don't really think that there's any reason not to do stuff like that. Oh, I'm gonna get shot at because I don't have gold armor, but I didn't want to have gold armor because it's very weak compared to what I have. Ugh. Die. Now where is my portal? I'm pretty sure it's like right down there. I hate these guys. I definitely see the appeal of why people like to adjust the game and cheat and do things like that. Not necessarily cheat, but glitch and stuff like that with the game. I don't really have any issue with it. I just don't personally usually use it, so. That's cool. And that's the thing too, is like you can get so creative with a lot of the items you can make with that sort of concept. And it's so cool to see what people can make with messing around with like glitches and messing around with items that aren't supposed to be in the game that you can make. I used to love working with command blocks actually back of the early days of getting them, back when you had to specifically put in a command to get them because they were only in existing items if you knew the right code to get them. And I knew a lot of the old school, I guess they're still very similar, commands to put into them for almost anything I wanted to do. And it was just fun. It was nice. I liked playing that way. Fair enough. I mean, that makes it definitely a lot easier to deal with things as far as mobs. Oh, I hate these guys. Die. Anyways, this is the tunnel I started using to mine for ancient debris, but I think I'm gonna mine off in this direction instead of going all the way down to it. I spent many stacks of TNT, and I currently have what I think 12 netherite ingots is what we got. So it's a mess. Fair enough. I mean, hey, whatever like someone enjoys for playing this game is all it really matters. I quite like the different ways that people can play. And if I had the ability to make my Minecraft pets immortal, I probably would too, because I absolutely hate losing them all the time. Oh, whoa, I strip mined into some ancient debris. Nice. All the strip mining I've done in the last 3 days, and I haven't gotten a single one off of just a strip mine, and then I did get one. So, fair warning for the cringe factor, I do place this TNT quite horribly. I know it's not supposed to be placed this close together, and it makes it not very optimized, but I have enough TNT that I really don't mind. So, I will probably be remuting again in a little bit, since I am pretty tired, and I do like having my YouTube videos on in the background for the night, but hey, welcome back to the stream. How you doing today? Fair enough. That's pretty much what it's turning into of mine, because of how much I've been searching for ancient debris and stuff. Let me guess, I made him mad off the TNT. I did. This is what I was... Fair enough. Oh yeah, I get it. Especially you had the beacon or whatever for netherite. Yeah, I definitely can understand why it's like that. This is absolutely a mess down that way, and I'm just trying to get it for my own stuff, not even for a beacon. I'm sorry that you're so stressed. I'm glad you get to take a break from school and stuff for a little bit, even though you're probably not supposed to. I still think that mental health is far more important than literally anything to do with school, and that's kind of my opinion on it, so I think you deserve the break for a bit. Yeah, I've used multiple stacks of TNT on this idea, and I still haven't gotten all of the ancient debris I need, I don't think. I don't actually know how many I need. I should probably figure that out. So for... curiosity question, if anyone watching right now knows, for making netherite stuff, you just need 1 ingot per item, right? Or is it a different setup? I don't actually know how to make netherite stuff. I just know how to make the ingots and how to get the debris. And even that I had to Google. So my brain's trying to figure out what I need to do it. Debatable. I do get your point on getting dragged to a doctor in America isn't nearly as common as places where healthcare is a little better. But I definitely got dragged to the doctor all the time as a kid. Initially, my mom would bring me to the doctor for pretty much anything. Not necessarily as like trying to prove me wrong if I said I was sick, but more so because she was a nervous Nancy about everything. So she would just like drag us to the doctor anytime we slightly showed signs of being sick to try to make sure that we were all right. It officially passed 1 a.m. I'm not mining any of this gold or nether quartz, or quartz I mean, because I mined a ton of it the last time I was in here when I was off stream, so I don't really feel like mining it again. I'll have to show this to my partner when he gets home tomorrow, or later tomorrow, because him and I were having like a mini argument about whether or not TNT makes mobs mad at you, because one of the times I was in these tunnels, Enderman randomly started attacking me, and I was like, what the heck, why is he mad at me? And I was like, oh, he probably got mad because of my TNT, and he's like, it doesn't work that way. They can't get mad at you off your TNT. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely how it works. The mobs get mad off of your TNT. So we had like a little mini argument about it, and he insisted that he was in fact correct and I was in fact wrong. So now I can show him that I was correct because it ticked off the piglins, or pigs back there, zombie pigs back there. Okay, thank you for the little run through on the technicality of it. I knew how to make the ingots, and I vaguely knew about some things, but that helps with giving me a little bit better input. I think I'm fairly close to having enough then, actually. Fair enough. To be honest, that's kind of how my parents were as well. Or, well, one of my parents was. My mom was kind of a nervous Nancy about herself and about us when it came to going to the doctors, but my dad was definitely the person to be like, walk it off, you're fine, don't need to go to the doctor, and same thing with himself all the time, or you need to go to the doctor all the time and doesn't go to the doctor with himself all the time. It's just back and forth all the time with his way that he did things, but that's how humans are. We are very much so hypocritical on a lot of things, so I'm not going to claim to not be a hypocrite at times either, so now I just kind of avoid the doctors as much as I physically can because I don't want them to tell me what's wrong with me. Well, now I don't want them to tell me what's wrong with me. I initially went, the last 2 years I've spent in and out of a very, very high number of specialists because I very much so wanted to figure out what was going on with me and why I was disabled and what was going on with my disability and what the specific name for things were and things like that, and specific diagnosis for my mental health conditions. But after 2 years of not getting any answers or getting dismissed quite frequently, I am very tired and I am just avoiding doctors as much as physically possible now and dealing with things on my own as best I can, which usually means just being in pain 24/7, but it's a vibe. I have very few doctors that I have genuinely had good experiences with. My main primary doctor is very decent. I quite like him. And then other than that, it's pretty much it. The psych person that I just started with, I did very much so like, but she is leaving in 2 months after I started with her, so yeah. Fair enough. If anyone's vibe is off, I just don't want to be around them, so I would be out of there so fast. But to be fair, you also were a kid, so you couldn't do much about it. I've had the same primary care for a very, very long time, luckily, and he for the most part has done okay and been on the good side of me. I didn't like him much as a kid, but he's fairly good at kind of respecting my wishes of not really liking meds for a very long time. I started having to deal with meds recently, but for a very long time I would avidly avoid meds, and he respected that. And he also respected kind of whatever I said of where I wanted to be referred, or what tests I wanted him to run, or things like that, or running me through any things that I had come across in my research, so. That's nice. I'm glad that it's better now. I'm glad that things are better now. I'll eventually figure out what's going on with me, but for now I'm just vibing. I do have a few mental health diagnoses at least, so that's slightly an improvement. To be fair, I don't think anyone genuinely likes going to the doctor. If anyone genuinely likes going to the doctor, they either have a very good doctor or they're just like, I don't know. I don't really know what the other reason would be. I am on fire. I forgot I was crouching, so it flamed my spot instead of, you know, the TNT. Come on. Let me block this off. Thank you. I am probably going to go back on mute in a little while and just vibe and read your guys' chats. You're welcome to still keep talking. I'm just very tired and don't have much else to say right now. And I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I was saying the last stream that I wasn't going to stream tomorrow, even though it's my normal schedule to stream tomorrow, because my partner is supposed to be home since he has the day off from work and it's close to his birthday. But he went off to a friend's house tonight and he's not going to be back until like 5 p.m. tomorrow or something like that, so I have plenty of time to stream tomorrow. So I will most likely do some streaming tomorrow. Which technically means I shouldn't have been streaming tonight, but I wanted to, because it kind of limits what I can do tomorrow while I'm on stream since I have not that many tasks to get done. But I needed something to do to keep my brain going until I get tired, so I started playing. And then I figured if I'm playing, I may as well stream. Yeah, it's currently 1:14 in the morning for me. A little late. Not the most late I've been up recently. I don't sleep very much lately, but definitely a little late. Where is all this lava coming from? Can't tell where all this lava is coming from. I'm just trying to like desperately block it off. It's alright. I'm quite used to not sleeping much lately. I've had very bad sleep issues for a while because of the new meds they put me on, so I don't mind being up late. And up until about midnight or so, I was very hyper-focused on doing some tasks in the apartment, so now I'm just playing this until I get tired enough to try to sleep, which might eventually happen and might just never happen, so yeah. I don't mind the new medication setup, but it definitely makes me not very tired at all. I did crash for the last 2 days pretty heavily because I missed a day of meds, and the day that I missed made me exhausted, and I absolutely crashed and slept like hell. But then I had to get up early this morning, even though I definitely did not want to, and then I took my meds, and now I'm back to being a nightmarish person that can't sleep, so love that for me. I don't know which I prefer, to be honest, either oversleeping or, either massively oversleeping or massively being unable to sleep is pretty much the only two options that I have lately, and I'm not really sure which one I prefer. Depends on the day, I suppose. I quite like being unable to sleep when I have things to do, like today, how I got a absolute bunch of stuff done throughout the night. But when I don't have as much to do, nice. When I don't have as much to do, I would prefer to sleep. Alright, my brain's kind of fizzing, so I am going to mute again for a while. I'm still going to play for a while, so I'll be here. I'll just be muted. I might unmute once in a while since I'm just going to mute the flip up way on my headset instead of turning the microphone completely off in the settings like I had it. And I guess I am going to watch some YouTube. I finished Supernatural for the 5th time. 4th time, 5th time, something like that, the other night. So now I'm trying to work my way through about 200 YouTube videos that I've been adding to my watch later playlist every time I open YouTube, since I was too fixated on Supernatural to watch YouTube at all. So it's a work in progress, a very slow work in progress. I'm trying. So that's what I'll do in the background while I get some more of this done. Hopefully I'll get enough of this so that I can make this into netherite. That's understandable. I'm glad you at least... Oh geez, big yawn. I'm glad you at least are able to get some good sleep, or well, not good sleep, but get a schedule of some sort. I definitely prefer schedule even when it's short term like that. I'm the same way. I have, I go to bed around 12 or 1 and I wake up again around 5:30 during the week. So it's definitely not very much sleep, but it is kind of a routine, and I like the routine and being able to have a schedule to things. Yeah, school is, I don't miss it. To say the least, I don't miss it. School is atrocious for mental and physical well-being in so many ways, and I despise it as a system. Yeah, there's been a lot of schools that actually changed it so that they they didn't open up as early in the morning or whatever, because of the fact of because of the research-based evidence that, in fact, waking up that early is not very healthy, and it usually results in a lot of issues, especially for teenagers. So it's a whole mess, but not many are catching on to it, and standardized school systems are just absolutely atrocious for people and children anyways, and they know that and don't particularly care. So I doubt anything's going to change, sadly, as far as on a larger scale than just 1 or 2 changes to the time in a few districts. Because they do not want to keep children in their best interest in mind. They just want to keep politics and money in mind. In fact, one of the major reasons I wasn't allowed to drop a class that I did not want to take and could not handle taking was because they needed, and I quote from my guidance counselor that was speaking to my mother at the time, able-bodied children in these seats for funding. So, gotta love that. It's all a mess. There needs to be some serious reforms to a lot of systems in the US and in other countries that are similar, but those are not going to happen anytime soon, sadly, so it's a never-ending battle. I guarantee you, whenever I am a parent, if I ever have the privilege to be a parent in this hellfire we call an Earth, I will be doing things very, very differently. So, oh yeah, I know. Same thing with younger children. One of my little cousins was labeled as a problem child because she couldn't sit still for the entire 7 or 8 hour school day, and it's like, I think that's called being a normal child. Like, I think that's called, mind you, she's in a very young grade. She at the time she was, I believe, in 1st grade. So she was around like 7 or so, 6 or 7 roughly. And they're complaining that a 6 or 7-year-old cannot sit still for 7 or 8 hours, and calling her a problem child and like trying to kick her out of school. And I'm like, oh, what? In what world is a 7-year-old going to be able to sit still for that long for something like that? Like, I don't know. It's a whole mess. Like I said, if I ever have the privilege to become a parent in this lifetime and on this awful burning planet, I will be doing things very, very differently, because children are treated absolutely horribly in this world. In a lot of ways, and in a lot of situations, and in very much so the school system. Considering how much the school system damaged me, I would never expect a kid to have to deal with it. That is in fact why I ended up homeschooled for the majority of my rest of my school career. I love that they also call it a career, like you're being paid to exist there instead of just being forced to go there every day or else face severe consequences. And I also love that parents have this concept that, like, you can't possibly, like, take days off from it ever. And you have to have perfect attendance, or you have to, you know, actually be sick or something to stay home or stuff like that. All the excuses that a lot of parents have where, like, they don't want their children to have any peace of mind from their school ever. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you as an adult can't stand your work every single day, for example, why would you expect your child to stand school every single day and be sane and still want to go to school every day? It's a mess. Come on, let me... Yeah, that's just wrong on so many levels. Like, I cannot stand school systems right now. There are some school systems, there are a few countries that are getting a little better with school system reforms, and there are some areas of America, or like the US, that are getting a little better with reforms, but it's very small, and they're just reforms. They're not actual, like, broad changes that are going to make a difference or input, or make any input on other school systems, so there's still a lot of ways to go with it. I would be too. You have a right to be kind of ticked about that, to be fair. Yeah, that was one of the biggest issues with me because of my autism, was being really high IQ, but not always showing it, and having a lot of issues in school because of it. So, I mean, granted, I had very good grades for a majority of it, really dedicating myself to school, but that was because of, again, really dedicating myself to school more than I should have, and because certain subjects I did quite well in. And you could definitely tell my lack of ability to translate my IQ into grades in school when it came to, like, English classes and things like that. Now I just vibe with a very high IQ that I use to hyper-focus on my special interests. And most of my special interests are, and I quote, woo-woo, crazy astrology chick crap, so yeah. I'm a bit of a disappointment to my family. It's fine. We're just existing here. I love the spitefulness that holds. I love that energy. You know, most people would not encourage that spiteful type of energy, but I live for that type of energy. That is what I thrive on, so I commend you. Currently, my 80-year-old grandmother still lives on just pure spite alone, so I live in a very spiteful family, and it's a vibe. Oh, the other thing to update on was to update on while I'm streaming. Well, while I'm on mic, I suppose. Well, actually, holy crap, big yawn. As much as I wanted to continue that statement, I'm actually going to wait to continue that update, because I'm probably going to do that update when I am streaming tomorrow, since I'm going to update on other things while I'm talking tomorrow. Welcome back. I am probably going to mute in a second, if you guys don't mind. I might unmute the mic once in a while to answer any chats or anything, but for now I think I might mute the mic soon. I am very tired, and I want to just have YouTube on the background, to be honest. My pup has turned into a lump on the couch. She's just kind of passed out, curled up. I think I'm going in the complete wrong direction to get back home, though. I don't know where I came from. Oh, my puppy her name is Nick. She is a German Shepherd Vizsla Boston Terrier mix. Again, as I say every time I have to explain her breed, it's a very long story how she is in fact that breed. She mostly shows the traits and looks of a German Shepherd, and she's about 60 pounds right now, and almost a year old. She is a Christmas puppy. She was born on Christmas, so she'll be a year old on Christmas. But yeah, her name is Nyx. It's NYX, so it's based off of mythology. As with most of my brain is so fizzing. As with most of the names I use and things, it's based off mythology because that is one of my very intense special interests. So fair. Yeah, I usually call her Nixie all the time, because it's also a mythological creature. But she had a very long day of running around today because we were, like I said, I was spending the whole day packing and moving things at my dad's, so she was outside. So she just kind of was constantly running around and following everyone around and getting all hyper, so now she's very much so tired out and just kind of falling asleep on the couch and not really ever moving. But she's about 60 pounds and she's almost a year old, so she'll probably roughly max out at 70, maybe 80 pounds. And we'll be switching her to adult food soon and all that sort of stuff, so yeah, German Shepherds in general are just very interesting breeds, especially in mixes, and that definitely sounds like a very interesting mix from what I know of traits of German Shepherds and Golden Retriever. That'd actually be a fairly good mix, trait-wise and behavior-wise, I guarantee you. It'd also probably be a fairly trainable dog. It's probably fairly easily startled, though, or at least was. Not to be kind of the person that makes guesses based off of random things like people that do with astrology and stuff like that, but I love animals and dogs, and I know a little bit about most breeds. Fair enough. I love learning about most breeds of dogs, so I know a little bit about most traits. For example, Dixie shows her German Shepherd in most of her traits. She's very easily startled, she's very protective, she's very much so a one person or one family type of dog. She takes a long time to adjust to new people. She has a very high prey drive, she has a very high food drive, she's very intelligent, although we usually tell her she has one brain cell because she is also very dopey. But she's very intelligent, she's extremely trainable, she needs something to do at all times or she will absolutely destroy the world around her and get very anxious or just be a mess. All those sort of simple things that add up from more of a German Shepherd line of traits. Where did I put this? Nice. I quite like labs. I used to have a lab for a very long time. I've had a few dogs in my lifetime, and I quite like when I have had labs. The last dog that I had before Nixie was a pug that we had for, I think she was 13 when she passed. And the dog before that, I don't honestly remember. I've had a lot of dogs off and on throughout the years. Excuse me. Yeah, labs are very good dogs as far as picking up on their owners a lot more with habits and things like that. Nixie and I get along really well because both of us are extremely anxious, and both of us really much need routine, very much so need routine to survive, so her and I kind of balance each other out with that with that side of things, but it's kind of a mess most of the time, since we are both very anxious about everything all the time. She is very trainable though, so she's learning. It's just taking a while. I'm usually the only one between me and my partner that actually works to train her and to help her work through her anxiety and reactive habits and things like that, so it takes a while since I don't always have the time or the energy or the mental capability to train her or deal with her all day, so she usually ends up kind of just being a sleepy dog and lounging around the house. I think I remember you mentioning that one of the streams we were talking about animals. I'm sorry, that is quite saddening to know. Okay, let's start with, I guess, our armor. How do you do it? Is it a grindstone or is it a different thing? If, a smithing table, okay. Technically, if your apartment doesn't let you have dogs, I don't think they'd be a fan of even small dogs. Now, where the heck is it? Where can I place it on this workstation? I guess I'll put it around the corner. Not what I meant to do, but... Alright. Yeah, I'm good. I've maxed out this armor. It's all maxed out of what I need on it. It's all prop 4, and the helmet and boots are all maxed out to everything that I've wanted. They all have thorns, they all have unbreaking 3, and they all have mending. I spent a very long time making that armor set, so I'm fully sure on that. Thank you for the reminder. I think I'll probably do most of my tools as well, because I'm pretty sure I maxed all these out to what I want. Yeah, I maxed out all these tools to what I want them to be. And there goes the charger for my remote, because it just fell off my lap. The charger for my remote right now quite sucks. And it always just falls out. Thank you. I guess I actually have well over the amount that I needed for upgrading everything, but hey, at least I got more than the amount, so if I ever need to make new tools and upgrade them, I guess I'll also have to eventually make a maxed out hoe and make it netherite, because that's like an achievement. So I have one somewhere. I can probably max that out, to be honest, right now, since I have quite a bit of XP. I can probably find the enchantments to max that one out too. I have it over in my other stuff. Get some rest. Thanks for staying in the chat with me. That's not what I wanted to get. Seriously? Ugh. Get some rest. Thank you for stopping in to chat with me. I hope you sleep well. Oh, that's the other thing I could have put on the boots that I forgot existed. Soul speed. I forgot existed. I was waiting to do soul speed 3 on my boots, and I forgot that I was doing that. Whoopsies. I have it somewhere. I had soul speed 2, and I was waiting to get soul speed 3 so I could put it on my boots. Whoopsies. Is it fully unable to be enchanted, or just really goddamn expensive to do it? I can't remember the difference. Let me find my hoe and max that up. It's expensive, that's what I thought. Alright, fair enough. I have a decent enough levels and the skeleton farm to be able to get more levels, and I can also I'm going to be making an Enderman farm for levels and items, so I should be okay on it. And I'm going to be respawning the end dragon at some point too, so we'll be alright. There's not too much that I want to add to things that it'll be too bad to add what I need over time. It's only like 1 enchantment or something. I don't know if I'll go for Swift Sneak yet. I know I should. I just haven't figured out whether I want to bother with any of the stuff related to the warden that I want to avoid. Genuinely, if I find anything related to an ancient city, I'm just leaving. There's no, I'm not even trying. Sorry to kill donkeys, but I needed leather. I know it would probably be very good, but I would run away. I'm good. I'm out. I am too scared of that crap. Where are my butchers? Right here. And they're currently not letting me sell certain things to them. I hate how long it takes for these guys to reset sometimes. Where's my last butcher? Right here. And he's still resetting on the pig. Yuck. Where is my mending villager? He's somewhere around here. It's probably the one right here that's closest to the station. Nope, that's my prop 4 villager. Ooh, actually, I need that. I don't need fire aspect. I think I already have Unbreaking 3 on this. I do. I need my mending villager. Where is he? Fortune. I think I already have Fortune on this hoe. I have Fortune 2, so I actually need Fortune 3. But I didn't want to buy Fortune, I wanted to buy Mending. I can't find my Mending dude, he's somewhere around here. I know his station is the one in there, that's why I'm looking at it repeatedly. Fire aspect. Looting, feather falling. Where is my mending villager? Probably this guy. Nope, but that's my fortune villager again. Where is he? Why is he refusing to go to his workstation? Fire aspect again. Did my mending villager like die or reset? Because I know I had one. Did he just go up here? No. What the heck? I need some leather. But I need more sugarcane, so actually I don't need some leather. Now where did the mending villager go? Why is he just not here? Don't tell me he died or something. Maybe he's hiding back here. There he is. And I don't have enough emeralds because I bought other things. Dang it. What can I trade to get some emeralds? Probably some sticks real quick. I don't care that it's a little more expensive, I can deal with it. I know I can make these a lot more efficient by, you know, making them into zombie villagers and curing them, but I genuinely don't have the energy to do that much work on this project. I do have 2 that are quite cheap because they were the original zombie villagers that I cured to have these villagers over here, and that's probably about the max amount of actual curing I'm going to do for villagers. Unless I get bored and cure new ones, but I'm not gonna change and cure any of these guys. There's my mending book, okay.
I appreciate the follow, by the way. I just looked down and saw the follow number change. Thank you. I very much so appreciate it. I usually stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday about 1 p.m. my time, so a completely different time. But I ended up streaming some off times this week because I have been very bored and wanting to do other things. Alright, I am going to mute. I keep saying I'm going to and I don't, so I am going to mute. I will still be here and maybe turning my mic off on sometimes, but for now I'm going to mute and turn on a YouTube video again. So I appreciate everyone for stopping in. You're welcome to head out if you want to, or if you have other things to do, and you're welcome to keep chatting, and I'll try my best to respond and actually unmute my mic once in a while. Other than that, if anyone heads out, I hope you have a good rest of your night. And yeah, that'll be all for me for right now.
That as well.
Alright, I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to call it quits for the night. It is almost 3 in the morning for me, and I am very tired, and I'm turning this into a distraction instead of actually going to bed, so I need to make myself go to bed. So, yeah, I'll be getting off. Thank you guys for anyone that joined tonight. I will be streaming tomorrow. I don't know what time, because I'm not going to set any alarms, and I'm just going to pass out until whatever time I wake up, so it'll be late. But I should be on tomorrow to stream, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next stream tomorrow then. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. See you next time. Bye.